Pixelheart's team has grabbed Morgana right away, and actually I would say Tarek is a try-hard solo queue pick too. His win rate has gone up quite a bit according to LolKing because he hasn't been nerfed along with the other supports, but he can still heal and do some pretty basic support stuff. Seems easy to play, so people are picking him up a lot.
That armor and the armor shred is so good in lane. It works. He works very well with a lot of AD carries.
More like he works really well with Graves, which is like the go-to AD carry of solo queue. You know, even if people can't play ranged AD, they can still play Graves pretty effectively. That's what people seem to be complaining about.
Graves? I thought Ezreal was the go-to ranged AD nowadays.
Yeah, he is now too. And Tarek's pretty good with Ezreal too. But
speaking of that, we have the Graves and Ezreal pick on each team, and we're gonna see a jungle's Diana coming out.
Yeah, sure looks like it. So it's Ezreal Janna for bot, yeah, and Ahri, Yorick. So looks like most people have been playing Diana mid now. Like even though Freak played her as a jungler minus the Trinity Force, people
plays everyone as a jungler.
He does, but people seem to just always gravitate toward like any champion that builds AP. They want to send them solo mid. I don't know what it is, if it's just the sort of tempo of ability power in this game that seems to make it really ramp up around mid-game and fall off a little bit later. But Diana seems to work very well that way, especially if you go with runes that have like a bunch of early magic pen and early ability power to just hurt them really hard if you can land your Qs, and then once you hit level 6 you can start jumping around and play like a Kali. But no, instead we have Jungle Diana, and people are saying it's pretty bad, but I don't totally agree with that. I've been stomped by Jungle Diana. One in particular that built like Malady and Nashor's Tooth. Probably just attack faster and keep clearing the jungle quickly, but that also does bring some damage and presence to team fights. If you can shred magic resist, that not only increases Diana's damage, but also everyone else on her team that does magic damage.
The only problem with Malady is it doesn't have an upgrade, so you're sitting on a low-tier mid-game item for a long, long time.
The other problem with it is
another thing with
tank
Jungle
stats.
Diana, she needs to snowball really hard. Otherwise, she falls off hard if she doesn't get the snowball going. So if she doesn't pick up any kills in the early mid game, then she's almost worthless. But she does farm the jungle really fast and safe.
Yeah, that's pretty true. You can rush a Hextech Revolver too and just be pretty perfectly sustained and only have to worry about mana. It heals you pretty well. I think I ran Jungle Diana with the same rune page I use for Kayle, which is attack speed and spell vamp, which will give even more sustain, of course, if you want to play Diana that way. But yeah, she's not only fast, but also a decent assassin if you can land the Q. So looks like Pixelheart's last pick is Malphite, so I see already sort of AoE sort of team comp. So if Diana does fall behind, she'll be sort of screwed because it'll be hard to engage into all this AoE. But if Diana does well early and ganks them all while they're still in lanes individually, that could cause some problems for them to allow Talonn Baconhawk's team to get an early lead.
True that. I'm curious to see what runes. I haven't seen too many successful Jungle Dianas, and she is running attack damage and attack speed. So that's a little curious to me. I'm not a big fan of the attack damage because she doesn't have any AD scaling, from what I know.
Yeah, me either. She actually doesn't have any AD scaling. It's all ability power. In fact, Diana's passive and her Q and her ult are all around the same AP scaling and very similar base damage, so you have to sort of stick to targets and keep hitting them to do consistent damage with Diana. It's not like, oh, if only I can hit them with my Q or my ult. Like, her ult really doesn't pack the punch of most ultimates. In fact, I'd say it's even weaker than LeBlanc's ultimate, even though it has a similarly low cooldown. So I'm not too sure about why 8.6 AD there. That might be a bit of confusion where some junglers like to take 10 armor pen because the small camps have 10 armor. Flat magic resist I really like. That'll help for early ganks so they don't just turn on you and try to blow you up when you come out.
Right. The armor is standard too.
Yeah, armor's a given, of course. The only junglers who can go without it are probably Fiddlesticks and maybe Kayle, if you just use attack speed yellows and kill everything before it can even hurt you.
I don't know, with these two team comps, I don't think we'll see a lot of invading, even though Pixelheart's team has an Amumu.
Well, you have a Morgana. That's a really strong level 1 fight right there. If you can land a Dark Binding, a 2-second snare is pretty deadly at level 1.
Yeah, and they also have the Taric stun, but then they have a move. I'd like to see them invade. I would invade if I had that team. Just invade their blue buff, and that will really slow Diana down. She's very mana dependent.
It's not that bad, but it certainly helps. Not nearly as bad as a move.
It can be pretty bad because both her Q and her W have high mana cost. It's just her Q has such a long cooldown on the lower levels that it'll slow her down.
I think it would offset a Moo more, though.
Not if a Moo can pick up the blue. It depends who gets the actual blue buff.
Do you think Morgana could dominate lane if she takes blue buff and uses it against Ahri from level 1?
From level 1, I wouldn't give Morgana a blue buff level 1.
Me
All
either.
she has is that binding and slow damage, and you're only going to put 1 point into it until around level 8 is where you start pumping your second point into it. Otherwise, or level 7 maybe. Yeah, level 7, because you want to get your 3 points in Tormented Soil so you could one-shot the back line.
Well, it's just for shoving lane really hard. I think
Right.
Ahri has an okay matchup against Morgana just because of the rebound on Orb of Deception doing true damage, so you can ignore the magic shield on Black Shield to do consistent damage to Morgana, and also try to dash away if Morgana tries to get onto you with Soul Shackles. So, ooh, nice skin by Whimsicoffee here. I was tempted to get that one once I unlocked Diana. Now, actually, currently I'm tempted to get Bloodstone Taric, but I'm not sure if I like Taric enough to do it.
I personally like the Pentakill Yorick skin. That thing is awesome.
Yeah,
Not a big fan of the little Knight of Mumu though. Emumu is definitely where it's at, or Prom King of Mumu.
I have Prom King of Mumu. I got it when I was on sale. I actually don't like it though. Well, actually, now that they changed the Mumu's classic Amumu splash art, I'm glad I have an Amumu skin. I don't like a lot of the splash art and icon changes. I especially hate the Cassiopeia and Ezreal icon changes because now they look the same at a distance. Like I'll be
I
looking
can
at the
never
map.
tell them apart.
Yeah, I keep thinking Cassiopeia and Ezreal are the same icon now. I don't
Another
like
one I have
Mordekaiser's new
trouble-
icon either. He's like bronze instead of metallic. Oh right, I have
Another
to
one I have
change
trouble
to...
with is Darius and Diana. They look very similar as well. So it looks like Purple Team is going for that invade.
Oh,
They're
yeah,
probably
they're
gonna
all-
look to group into the top bush above blue team's blue.
Yeah, blue team's Ancient Golem. I like to call it the Ancient Golem to avoid any confusion. But yeah, purple team is moving as a group here. They got Invasion on the mind. Ezreal pushing ahead here. He's got Mystic Shot already, so he can check bushes with it.
It looks like Jaina's gonna award their red or their race. And there drops
Yeah.
the ward. Now I wonder if they're just gonna go in or they're gonna wait for the 133 that most people wait for nowadays.
My 133, I know in a double jungle game we had earlier, we went in a bit earlier than that, and it still wasn't early enough because I decided to face check into this bush by the Ancient Golem instead of just throwing out a random grab. And I ended up face checking into 5 people, so I died.
Well, normally at 133 is when bot lane's gonna head down, so they don't miss any experience, and then everyone else is gonna position for wolves. So normally that bush right, they're going early. No, they're not. Normally no one's in that bush by blue, and everyone is doing wolves already.
So Yorick sees these guys walking in, he's falling back already, sees them all grouping as 5. Yeah, blue team just heading out of there, scared like, well, some sort of rodents. Ahri's a fox though, that's not very rodentia at all.
But they are going to take this blue, which is going to set Diana back. No, Diana's going for their blue. What I normally like to do if I'm invading the enemy blue and against a blue-dependent champion like Diana, I would like to ward my own blue. That way you can at least see it.
Yeah, you can see if they actually stay. Like, sometimes the team will go in as 5 just to scare everybody off, but then not actually take the blue. But it looks like both teams calling each other out here, saying, okay, we'll just get a blue. So Amumu's leaving behind the little lizards. They won't have a timer, but Diana completely finished the purple team's Ancient Golem. So they'll have a timer, hopefully. I assume someone will type it out, especially if Whimsicopy's at 1800. I mean, I bother to type out timers and then forget about them, but at least I'm doing it. So Tarek has already been over to check it, notices it's gone. So there.
Yeah, Mumu is going to hit his level 2, and he actually saved his smite from blue, and he's going to get red buff with that blue, and probably go for a really fast gank up top once he hits level 3.
I'd say that's a good idea. York kind of reaches a point where it's really hard to stop him in lane, and he just heals forever and has tons of sustain. Not sure if the kill potential will be there with a Malphite who can only, roll a boulder at him to slow him a bit. If they can stick to him and do enough damage, it could result in a kill, though.
But you also see Diana heading up top.
So you might see some 2v2 gank action here. Didn't expect to see a level 2 gank from Diana, especially without a Moonfall ready. Alright, so she's chilling behind the rock to keep the minions from seeing her. York's already engaged with the slow ghouls, but after Malphite flashes and a Mumu shows up, blue team's going to disengage. What is that slow
Bot's getting fairly pushed up. Despite all that pushing that Bot's doing by the blue team, Ezreal doesn't have much of a lead. In fact, he's actually behind on CS, assuming Graves can pick up a few of these CS at the tower.
Well, I think they're just missing last hits is all.
Oh, they're actually even on CS as the lane resets almost.
Okay, so following Diana around again, you see Diana's made it over to the Lizard Elder camp. And so, checking the gold here, Amumu has just over 1,000, and Diana's probably going to break 1,000 once the Lizard Elder dies. Okay, so this is interesting. Diana actually hit level 4 before Amumu, even though Amumu did the Rinsen path and saved a smite for the Lizard buff. Now
Diana did end up taking some lane XP while she was top, while Mumu really didn't. And Mumu misses that binding.
Yeah, that was actually kind of funny. Some say you shouldn't cross the streams, but I guess that's why. So I was really expecting to see a kill on Ezreal there, but well, first of all, I don't know if you should aim to bandage toss onto a stationary target anyway, because then you're just stacking your stuns up unnecessarily. Ooh, Ahri got hit by a Dark Binding there.
That's true. Ahri is very low.
Yeah, Ahri's been low this whole time, I think. Even though both these champions have Spell Vamp, they have a way to heal themselves in lane. Morgana seems to be on top here. Oh, gets hit by a Dark Binding while recalling.
That is first blood. That was very well done by that Morgana.
Yeah, outplayed there, Ahri. Casually recalling under tower. It was a good flash and ignite by Morgana too to ensure the kill, and also the black shield to make sure you didn't get charmed under tower. So you see, Purple's bot lane is pushing back to the tower this time. Ezreal missing a few creeps under the tower. Looks like they're still even for creeps. Ezreal's 26 to Graves 24. Checking items here, see Ahri's bought a Dorn's Ring and a Sight Ward coming back to mid this time. So I might have a slight item advantage on Morgana. Nope, Morgana's about to go back as well.
She's got to spend that first blood gold.
Oh, no kidding. So she's
the double Doran comes out. She's going to have a huge advantage in lane against this Ahri.
Yeah, I think that's the more common Morgana build, is to go for Doran's Rings. Some still go for Rod of Ages, but I don't think that's quite as popular because that's 3,000 gold for a Rod of Ages. That's pretty expensive when Hourglass is often a pretty high priority to make sure Soul Shackles goes off without a hitch.
Diana is coming up top as he's pushing. I'm not sure they'll be able to kill Malphite. His flash is still down. But yeah, if she goes through the river, he's going to see him and instantly back out.
Oh, this Malphite does have his ultimate ready. He could just use Unstoppable Force to escape. So, alright, Diana with red buff turning towards mid lane to get some revenge for this gank on Ahri. So Morgana looking a little cut off, but she runs down the river and Ahri aims her charm. A little crooked, about, more than double digits, the degrees. Oh, no. Wait, how would that work? More than a 90-degree angle, missing a skill shot.
That Morgana did buy a mana pot. That's a little curious. I wonder if
I think the
no,
plan is to
she
get
is
blue
gonna
to
get
a
the
Moo Moo.
blue.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking that the Moo Moo might actually just call the blue for himself because the Moo Moo could use that blue still.
Yeah, especially with Morgana having an advantage in lane. She could afford to be more conservative with mana, but no. Amumu is elected to donate the Ancient Golem buff, despite this big wolf, by the way. So I think we'll see Morgana just shove lane even harder, get a bigger lead. If you look at the creep score, she's already 15 creeps ahead of Ahri.
In the top lane, Malphite is pushing York around. I wouldn't be surprised if I saw a dive here, even though Malphite doesn't have the Ignite.
Yeah, Yorick with no mana is a pretty tempting target. He hasn't been back yet. With Yorick is holding on to 1,200, almost 1,300 gold. So that's enough to go buy that Tear of the Goddess and get cloth armor if you wanted it. No point versus the Malphite though. So we see a bunch of action.
There's a gank there.
Filthy bush gank from Diana. Ezreal narrowly missing the True Shot barrage. Might have got a double kill if it, or maybe he was aiming for Graves, not Tarek.
He was aiming for Graves, and he did hit the Graves, but it wasn't enough to kill.
Ah, I see. So, looks like they burned Flash to get out there. Oh, we missed a kill in mid. Oh no.
We did miss a kill in mid.
Well, not much else happening. I think we'll rewind to go get that. So let's see. Morgana did get hit by a charm shortly. Let's speed this up a bit. Check. Okay.
Morgana was just zoning out the Ahri. And Ahri decided, and she actually walked from behind the Ahri from Lou's Raves and hits her with a binding into an ultimate.
Yeah, I
and
saw
the Flash just finished up the kill.
Oh, it was the Ignite that finished it off, for
oh,
sure.
yes.
Ahri dashed away, but still died to an Ignite tick, so... After that, alright, Morgana finally recalling. Diana donating a ward to the upper bush here, and starts to do the Ancient Golem buff there. Not sure if it's going to Ahri here. Yeah, Ahri's going for it, so... Ahri will get caught up a little bit with experience and mana. Ahri going for the Kage's lucky pick there. It's been a popular item on mids lately, but I'm not sure if you should get it while losing. Even though it looks tempting and obvious because it gives you money, but it's not a very strong item. All it does is give you some ability power at an inflated cost. So, what do you think of that, Avalanche?
I think it's an okay buy just because she's behind and she needs that gold to catch up. I would like to see her go towards Abyssal because Morgana is bullying her around so much.
Yeah, it's a pretty common thing on Ahri now. I actually really like the Ahri changes that came a few patches ago that changed her AP ratios and increased cooldown on Spirit Rushes. Oh, Ahri getting tagged by another Dark Binding. Morgana going
and that's
in
another kill.
That should be another kill. Definitely.
And a fresh blue buff too.
Yeah, that needlessly large odd making that Soul Shackles just do some pretty big damage. Despite taking a few tower shots, Morgana being innately tanky and all that, just kind of walks away from the tower all nonchalant. The third kill.
That Morgana is up almost 1,500 gold.
Well,
That's so much.
Kills, not yet.
They really need to put some pressure on Morgana to keep her back, but I'm not sure how they can do that with their team comp right now.
Yeah, Diana not exactly the best support to go roam and try to pin down a Morgana, and Diana did go in with a Lunar Rush there, and despite having red buff, she just backed away, probably because getting caught by a Binding and Tormented Soil combo would do a lot of damage.
I think the Ahri can go in with Diana if they're both full health and have mana, while Morgana's ult is still down.
Yeah, it's still down for 25 seconds, and the tower's about to go down here. They'll have to make a move pretty soon, and it looks like we're going to see that. So Ahri missed the charm already, but Diana lands the Q. Morgana flashing away. Diana probably looking to dash one more time. Nope, too scared because the teleport from Malphite has now appeared in mid lane. Hits Diana with unstoppable force, slapping her around with brutal strikes. Oh, very good Lunar Rush and flash by Diana there. The Moo trying to come in with the follow-up here, but he has no mana. He can't do a Bandage Toss. Malphite flashing over, trying to finish off Diana with Ground Slam. Can't quite get in there. Saved by Diana with the Monsoon, shoving them away. Oh, Tarek with a Dazzle. Graves splashing over the ridge. No, Malphite gets the kill. Ezreal keeps chasing with an ultimate. He's auto-attacking a Mumu. They both flash. Ezreal landing a clutch Mystic Shot for the kill. Now chasing on a Taric with Lizard buff to slow him. Taric flashing away, but they're going to stick to him. Oh, Ezreal narrowly missing an Arcane Shift over the wall. York, Tesla Ghoul coming in. No, Ari gets the kill under tower. Graves being the only one to survive that whole engagement.
That was a 4-for-1 exchange. Purple team was very disorganized in that, and you saw the Ezreal and the Jaina come up as soon as they saw the Malphite teleport in, and the York started making his way down.
Yeah, good call by York to come down for this dragon here, and it seems to have reset for some reason. But they're gonna get it no problem because this double buff Ezreal's chunking it pretty hard. Alright, so that's a dead dragon for Ezreal. Morgana coming in to, show some authority, but decides not to flash in and ult them or anything. She wouldn't make it out without that hourglass, even though she's about 1,300 gold away from finishing it. So after all that, Morgana coming to pick up the Ancient Golem buff with help from a Mumu. Taric walking by.
That exchange really equalized the gold. The Purple team's only 300 gold ahead right now, while they had a huge lead earlier, but with that mid tower down. But that was just equalized with the 4 kills and all the killing sprees that everyone got. And Ezreal has double buff, so he's gonna look to bully this bot lane. And Tark's is waiting in the bush for a gank. And Morgana's coming down. This is bad for Ezreal and Jaina right here.
Yeah, you can see with the vision here, blue team has no idea that they're there. So Graves getting a big time kill with that buckshot. Morgana going for the soul shackles on Ezreal right away. Follow-up binding, very nicely done. Mumu ulting, I don't know, just to be flashy.
That was a little unnecessary. I'm not even sure that hit. I think that was a little late.
Looks like, did he get an assist? He did get an assist at some point, or?
He got the assist on the Jaina, I think. I don't think he got the assist on the Ezreal.
Oh, that's kind of funny. The the curse of the sad mummy that didn't curse anybody. Truly the saddest of mummies. So with 4 members of the purple team bot lane, they're gonna take the outer turret no problem. If we look at the creep score again, Graves is only 10 creeps behind Ezreal, and they both have BF swords, so he's not exactly behind. Usually it's a good idea to take the turret if you're losing bot lane, just because it's free gold for your team and some map control if you decide to have some business around there. What it can do is it can force their ranged AD to sit there farming and freezing the lane while the support roams, but if he's behind he won't come to fights, while your AD can camp mid or take objectives or something. So do you think that was a good
Purple
play?
team moving in to take his blue buff away from Ahri. Let's just go throw her further behind. And Diana goes in to check it, but she gets caught. She's not getting out without her flash.
Well, she didn't have flash up, so that's what'll happen to you when you get hit by Dazzle and Dark
This
Binding.
Yorick did him back when he saw all of them there, and he's gonna be towered over easily, not even breaking a sweat there.
Yeah,
He did
ulting himself.
let's try to put down a little more damage along with the Ezreal ulti, but it's not gonna be enough.
Yeah, this York is a little bit behind. He's got a tier, but not a mana mune. So he really can't do like a big play and try to finish somebody off after ulting himself. So that was a little bit foolish to stay behind, because now purple team still grouped as 4 or 5 here. They're just pushing down more outer turrets to get the gold lead back in their hands here. Meanwhile, the Ancient Golem buff is actually still alive, so now the blue team will try to secure that and give it to Ahri. Having seen the purple team is all left, most of them have recalled. So there, Morgana just finished Zhonya's Hourglass. Graves picking up an early Zeal. That's a bit unusual, but maybe not that unusual, given that they're all roaming as 5 now, and Graves wants to just move around the map faster with his team.
Purple team's gonna look to start a team fight with Morgana and a Mumu, both with flash ultis, and the Zhonya's on Morgana. They're gonna really look to start a fight, probably pushing a tower. They have such a huge advantage still.
They do have okay poking too, and pushing with Morgana around. Dark Binding has pretty good range, and Tormented Soil will wipe out any creeps that would come to challenge theirs pretty effectively. So they definitely not only have a good team fight, but decent pushing capability too.
Yeah, if anyone gets caught by Morgana binding, Mumu could just follow that up along with a flash ulti Zonia from Morgana, and that's an easy pick and an easy kill. And no one has enough HP or MR to actually survive that. They're all relatively squishy still.
That's true. Not really seeing very many defensive items. Well, Diana and Ari have both gone for Giant's Belts here, so trying to get some health to survive the burst, but they'll need Magic Resist to go with it, especially if they get tagged by Amumu's basic attacks because of his passive here, the Cursed Touch. I'm not sure when it upgrades to 35 Magic Resist Shred, but that is actually quite a bit. Getting tapped by Amumu, or headbutted by him actually, you will lose 25 Magic Resist, which is enough to, you know, nullify the Magic Resist on your Mercury Shreds.
And with the lead Malphite has on Yorick, he's going to look to split push since his teleport is back up.
That's true. Malphite is actually a decent pusher. I mean, his only escape is Unstoppable Force, but who wants to come stop a Malphite anyway? Especially with the blue team kind of on the back foot here. Not really sure. It seems like they're...
Blue team's picking for Morgana here. They wanted to pick her off, but both of them having wards in that same bush, they just weren't able to do it.
Yeah, it's not exactly a safe time to get Oracle.
Pushing bottom right here, and they're hide in this bush hoping for some... Oh, they get the Ezreal, and he is dead.
Oh yeah, I didn't even see that whole engagement, but Ari trying to get some revenge with Charm and an ulti onto Tarek, but he's just getting tickled. Oh, Diana going in now with the Q. Amumu ulting to try and get them on. Ari still has one more dash left. Going in, Malphite counter-ulting them. Oh, this fight is just all over the place. Diana ulting to try and get some health and zone control, but Diana lands one more Q and is trying to get away. Running away from Tarek. His Dazzle's going to be up in 1 second. Oh, very good flash to get away from Dark Binding and Tarek. So Diana running all the way up the river. Nowhere to go, though, with the outer turret gone. Purple team is going to say, oh, quit chasing, Dragon's up. So in all, that was 2-for-1 exchange. Amumu did die in the end. Diana barely escaped, keeping it from being a 3-for-1. So now Purple is going to increase their gold lead even further with them getting the dragon this time.
I really thought that blue team had a really good advantage in that fight up until the Malphite teleported in. I think they just chased way too long. They could have gotten the kill on
Tarek,
on Amumu rather a little bit quicker, and then just backed out. But they stayed a little too long, and the Malphite was able to come in before the York was even anywhere in the area.
Oh yeah, I actually didn't see Malphite teleport in. I was kind of wondering where he came from, but that was a really big ulti there from Malphite that really changed the course of that battle, and it made blue team look really disorganized. They were all really split up, getting focused one at a time, and able to help each other.
I mean, Morgana wasn't doing much that fight because she did use her ultimate to kill Ezreal. And if they had just killed the Mumu and backed out, because they did have a ward in the same bush as a teleport, so they did have the teleport coming in, and Ari and I think it was Diana, Ari and someone else was standing right next to it. They just didn't react in time.
Yeah, I think blue overcommitted in that fight. They're maybe getting a little desperate to make a big play and make a larger comeback, but settling to just get one kill and then get out would have been nice. Not sure if escape would have been possible with Malphite teleporting in, though. Not even sure.
Well, they're fairly close to that tower. If they just backed, it would have been just Malphite, but they ran in towards Morgana and Tarek, and Graves was coming up from bottom too.
So interesting to see that Janna did get an Oracle right after that fight. So you can see the vision here. Blue has a little more vision on the lower jungle here. And Purple has more of it in the upper jungle. Neither team has Baron itself warded though. Looking to do Baron in this sort of unstable state of the game would be a little risky. Neither team really ahead to just flat out do it, but okay. It looks like Blue is flanked Malphite rather effectively, so Ari misses the charm though. Tagging him with a bit of Foxfires. He's just gonna
This is
chill
going to be
bush.
a bad fight. They do not want to engage here. Yorick has no mana,
Yeah.
and they're being cut off by that Malphite.
Oh, nice unstoppable force across the wall. Ezreal taking a lot of burst damage, and the rest of purple team has arrived. Moves Bandage Toss, not catching anybody, but big ult catching Janna and Diana, and they're just getting cut down one by one. Diana almost catching Graves. Yeah, Ahri finishes them off before he can dash away. Yorick offering one last ghoul with his last bit of mana, and Ahri gets stunned under tower and dove on by Malphite. In the end, a 4-for-1 exchange with only Graves and a Spreagle getting handed out to blue team.
That just shows how far ahead purple is. Because Morgana wasn't even in that fight. She still has her ultimate. She did throw one Dark Binding. I'm not even sure if that hit or not.
Yeah, I don't think it hit anybody. It came flying over the wall back here, but everyone on blue team flashed away from it or hugged the outer wall of the map to not get hit by it.
I mean, essentially that was a 4v4 because Yorick was out of mana, so he didn't bring much to the fight.
Yeah, one slow is not going to be enough to keep purple team from rampaging all over the place in fights.
He didn't even have his ultimate up to keep Ezreal alive or in zombie form.
Yeah, so, Yorick actually, despite having enough mana to finish Mana Mune, he's gone for a Giant Spell himself to try and survive all this burst coming from this multiple AP champ combo that purple team has. Now that you think about it, Malphite basically fills the role of a double AP top lane. Just has an AoE ultimate, does magic damage, offers a lot of burst in team fights. Not exactly the kind to go Abyssal Scepter and Will of the Ancients. That's interesting how it's sort of a double AP comp on purple team. So Morgana looking a bit cut off, but Diana can't land the Q and lands a binding on Ahri, who's chunked to 3/4 HP just like that. And with the rest of purple team showing up in force, blue team is backing up despite it being 5v3. Oh, Ezreal gets hit by a max range Dark Binding. Morgana flashing in and shielding, busting Soul Shackles, but Ezreal has already flashed away, and Janna just dies alone pretty much. Oh, Diana getting hit by Dark Binding this time and dazzled. Ahri trying to dash back at them to chase them off, and it looks like it worked. They're purple team a little bit scared of the tower here.
Graves is trying to sneak in his ultimate right here. He wants that collateral damage to pick off a kill, but no one was in range.
Yeah. Oh, now Yorick getting hit by Dark Binding and sitting in Tormented Soil. Poor guy. Everyone just getting hit by Dark Bindings lately. Purple's taking a lot of towers with everybody on blue at low health. They're forced to back off. And nice flash by Yorick to avoid the buckshot. He's going to survive collateral damage, just barely. Now Malphite with Sunfire Cape also has to be careful not to get close to the tower. Now Ezreal also getting hit by Dark Binding.
Morgana is not missing her Dark Binding this game.
Yeah.
They're going to try to ambush this, but I don't think they're going to get anyone.
Well, plus blue team kind of tends... They're always standing all grouped together. It's hard for Dark Binding to miss. And wow, another one! That's the equivalent of God Hand with Blitzcrank, just hitting... That was actually...
And with Morgana hitting those Dark Bindings, they could just push the tower so easily. Malphite is tanking enough. Oh, she hits another one.
Janna forced the ult to try to keep Ahri alive. Nice Mumu ulti, hitting 4 members of the blue team. Yorick's Omen of Death on Ezreal, but he's already Arcane shifting away. Both teams sort of disengaging, but with the next minion wave here, I think purple will be back at the tower pretty soon.
Malphite's unstoppable force is up. If he can, oh my god, through the minions, Morgana hits another binding. They are gonna back out just to grab this dragon and play. They're gonna play it safe.
Yeah, despite Ezreal landing a Mystic Shot on Morgana, it only tickles her because of all that armor from Zhonya's Hourglass. Morgana just poking her head out to wave at the minion wave walking down lane, but no one on blue team's taking the bait. They're all sitting on the summoner platform healing up. So after taking that dragon, purple team is now a staggering 12k ahead in gold. Well, more like 11k actually, 12.2k. And blue team, purple team giving the Ancient Golem buff to Graves this time, given that Morgana is just sitting in mid watching minions die. Graves out of mana for the moment. So Graves has just finished Infinity Edge. Now that'll combo nicely with that Zeal bot so long ago. Getting a Vamp Scepter at last as well, so he'll be sustained in fights if it's down to a 1v1 with the blue team. Probably unlikely with all the AoE going down. But okay, so Morgana getting tagged by Diana's Q. Diana chasing in because of her Rylai's, but lands a binding under tower, then flashes with Zhonya's and Hourglass, but Diana already dashing out of there, leaving Janna to hang dry. And nope, just after flashing away, she barely escapes Graves' collateral damage. Ezreal trying to get away. Graves tagged him with red buff, and Ezreal forced to flash away to not get hit again. Now Graves looking a little far out of position, but now both teams have disengaged. Let me count the flashes taken for each side here. It looks like Jenna and Ezreal lost their flash, while only Graves used his. I was actually wrong about Morgana flash.
Morgana was her flash was still down. She just walked up and zoned you.
Oh, okay. Maybe I saw a lag. It looked like a big jump down to me. And with blue team chased away, they're gonna take their ancient golem buff. Graves doesn't want it, and Mumu doesn't want it either. I think Tarek's gonna go grab it. Attaboy, Tarek.
Looking at the items, blue team does not have enough damage to win a team fight. Both Diana and Ahri went Rylai's for that utility and the survivability, but that gives them no damage. And with Ezreal's current farm and items, he cannot do anything to Malphite right now. Malphite has 312 armor and 141 magic resist.
Oh, 241. He goes up to 312 with his brutal strikes on, and that is a very staggering amount of armor. Ezreal nowhere close to Last Whisper here. He's just walking around with less than 200 gold, probably looking to finish Sheen next. At least the ability power might let his other abilities do more magic damage, but that's still not even going to dent Malphite at all. Again, with the double Rylai's, there's no Abyssal, no Will of the Ancients on blue team, despite a lot of them having a lot of moves to scale with ability power and moves that do magic damage. Ezreal landing some nice blind mystic shots on Morgana here, but on Ahri with the blind charm, but they really can't do anything about it.
I mean, they know this is going to be a 4v5 though, so they don't really want to engage under the tower. Tarek is picking up a lot of farm down bottom, and I think that's going to go into buying an Oracle and some wards so they can force a Baron.
Ezreal getting hit with a Dark Binding and following up with a Stoppable Force from Malphite. That's just a quick 3 kills for purple team. Not much of a return fire from blue team. That was just them getting caught in that bush. That was rather impressive to see, actually.
Morgana and Malphite are so far ahead, they pretty much just almost soloed that entire engagement. I mean, Graves threw out his buckshot a little earlier, but they're going to look to pick up Baron right here, and the Goldie is just going to go up to about 17,000 soon. Or 16,000.
Yeah, Morgana not even staying to help with Baron. Oh, never mind. Catches Ahri walking up to her. Yep, that's a free
another kill from Morgana. She's now 8-1-7, and Malphite is 5-1-7. Graves is 6-1-7. I don't see blue making a comeback this game.
6-1-6. Yeah, with Baron taken and no attempt to steal it. Well, what attempt could be made really? With I think Diana died in that fight as well. It was.
Yeah, everyone was pretty much just respawning by the time. No one can make it there except for Ahri, and she got caught out by that Morgana binding.
Yep. Now
Graves now has an Oracle. Tark has an Oracle. He's just clearing out wards, increasing the map vision for his own team, and just making it impossible for blue to leave their base at all.
Yeah, blue team can't see anything except the except the bush where the ancient golem once lived. Even that was taken away by the purple team. So tossing out some more poke over the wall at Tarek, but he just shrugs it off. If they're killing more wards. Ahri having just Rylai's only 159 ability power, they're unable to damage the very tanky purple team actually. Pretty much everyone has something that makes them innately tanky. Now Ezreal
they're just gonna look to poke while Graves split pushes. They don't have an answer to Morgana and Malphite right now.
Ahri ulting to try to catch Graves here, but purple team is responding, and Ahri, well, must have realized and is backing off already. She kind of got caught on the corner trying to ult after Graves there too. Now Malphite has Abyssal Scepter after some time. Ezreal True Shot Barrage going a little crooked down mid lane, doesn't push the creeps back quite enough. As Saladin would say, can't even clear a wave, dude.
That's actually a pretty good impression. Not gonna lie.
I was thinking if Jekker couldn't make it to stream, I was gonna do a Jekker impression for the post-game analysis, but I don't think I could do Jekker justice.
You need that low southern drawl going.
Oh, Jekker's not that south. Then again, I can't be very south because I'm from the Great White North. Bad, bad. Purple team pinging the Lizard Elder desperately, saying, "Graves, you have to get the Lizard Elder buff, or it's over." He already has a Lizard buff. He's still 2/3 done. We should give it to a Mumu so he can stick onto targets and keep their magic resist debuffed, or Tarek so he can stick to targets and get more heals off. I'm offering the
I'm
best Shiner
surprised
craft I
Purple
can.
didn't push harder with their advantage and Baron buff. And by the time they actually start pushing one of these inhibitor towers, they'll still likely win the fight because of how ahead they are. But it's so much safer just to do it with Baron. Especially with the poke they have with the Morgana.
I actually completely forgot the purple team got Baron. It's already 2/3 done, or more like 3/4. Looks like they just kind of.
They did get one tower for it, but with their advantage, they could have easily gotten an inhibitor if they grouped, and they're still split pushing.
Yeah, that's one way to throw once you get Baron, is to go split push, and then the other team will just start catching you one by one to take away your Baron buffs. But it doesn't even matter here. They're, again, sending pokes over the wall, but Morgana's still landing bindings. In fact, warding over the wall to try to get more. Ezreal almost getting hit by one, but he outruns it. Ari being the only person sitting at the entrance, the mid-entrance to their base, to try and push these minions back. Ezreal tossing out a True Shot Barrage. Oh, it's a field goal. It doesn't hit anybody. Should at least aim
And
it down the
Baron
lane.
is going to be up by the time the next wave hits, or relatively soon.
Yeah, Baron is going to be gone.
But they're still going to engage. As soon as Morgana hits a binding, she's going to flash ulti and Zhonya.
Yeah,
And
Mumu missing the toss.
All their flashes are up, so they have a very safe engage.
In fact, they're just all walking up to the tower and mailing. Graves not even there. He's still split pushing bot.
Oh.
There's the engagement as soon as the tower goes down. Gotta make it split up. Diana not getting stunned by Soul Shackles, but that's still just 4 kills in the blink of an eye almost. GG coming down
likely
for
game.
blue team. Yeah.
They should be able to push the Nexus right here.
Oh yeah. Yeah, York
That
didn't
was
even
a
get
really
his
nice
death off.
ulti by Malphite. It hit 3 people. Followed instantly by the Flash Morgana ultimate.
Yeah, so it looks like they're going to end it, but just for a recap, I went back way too far. I'm just going to play that fight again. It happened under the inhibitor turret. So Purple team just walks up to it and starts walking into death with all their melee characters. So Mumu just walks up and ults 4 members of them. Malphite follows up with Unstoppable Force, and then Morgana gets an instant triple kill on the first half of the damage from Soul Shackles. That's a lot of AoE destruction for you. So let's just speed up the ending. We can see Pixelheart's team take away both these Nexus turrets and subsequently the Nexus. Oh, I actually got back to live, and even Yorick is going to die under his own last Nexus turret, saving the Omen of Death for himself selfishly. Morgana, not quite surviving under the fountain laser there. They take away Yorick's Revenant right before finishing off the Nexus. GG's going down from both teams. Well played by Pixelheart's team.